man accused of, of peddling drugs, of being associated with drug cartels, is being brought back home. This is a hero's welcome. There are so many people who've gathered, media frenzy, paparazzi, fans, the sound of drums. I mean, this is nothing short of a celebration.
Absolutely, this is a huge celebration. They knew when Shah Rukh Khan's cars will reach here. They've come exactly at that time. You can barely hear anything, Rishika, here. But I'll leave it, I'll let the audience listen to these drums because...
Alright, so the sound of the drums outside Mannat have pretty much drowned Rohit Khilnani's voice. He's sending us those live pictures from outside Shah Rukh Khan's home. What we're told is that there's actually a convoy of vehicles behind that crowd that you can see. There is now a police personnel who is trying to disperse those crowds. So there's a traffic jam in Bandra outside Shah Rukh Khan's home. This is Aryan Khan returns home after 28 days in jail. Now this is a story that's garnered a lot of public attention. He is Shah Rukh Khan's son. Shah Rukh Khan is one of the biggest Bollywood superstars in the country. And we have live footage. Alright, so live pictures there of that vehicle that's actually carrying Aryan Khan back home. It's stuck in a traffic jam because of all of the frenzy outside Shah Rukh Khan's residence. But those are live pictures of the vehicle carrying Aryan Khan back home from the Arthur Road jail. Well, it's a security nightmare. It's really a nightmare there for the Mumbai police. There's also a team of private bodyguards, interestingly, something that we saw outside the Arthur Road jail as well. A team of private bodyguards that was standing by alongside with the Mumbai police, escorting Aryan Khan out from the jail into that vehicle, that white car on your screens. That's the car that Aryan Khan is in fact going back home in. Now all of this, breathless coverage, the crowds, the sound of the drums, the number of people who've gathered is all just, a testament to Shah Rukh Khan's popularity. Everyone's watched this story with keen interest, whether you're a Shah Rukh fan or not. So this is, of course, after 28 days of, back-to-back coverage of every turn in this case that Aryan Khan has been given bail. Many questions raised over the manner in which this case was treated, the manner in which the NCB carried out an investigation. And it's not the end of the road. Remember, he's not been exonerated of the charges. He's just been given temporary relief. This is bail that has been given to Aryan Khan. A case will, of course, continue. But what we're now hearing is that this is the convoy of Aryan Khan that is making its way back from the Arthur Road jail to Mannat. There's a traffic jam. It's a complete frenzied situation, as you can see from the live pictures we're getting you on your screens. Rohit Khilnani is back with us. Rohit, if you can hear us, what's the update?
Right, I can hear you, Rishika. You can see on your screens Aryan Khan's car, his convoy cars have gone ahead, but his car completely mobbed by the media, and cops are trying their best to give him way so that he can enter Mannat. I'm not sure if Aryan Khan expected this. These are the visuals of Aryan Khan entering Mannat with a huge crowd. That's, like you were saying, this seems like nothing short of a hero's welcome. Aryan Khan returns home after 4 weeks in Arthur Road jail. Absolutely crazy visuals. This is something nobody has witnessed outside Mannat. Hundreds of cameras, hundreds of photographers. Extremely tough for the driver to actually take the car ahead in this kind of a crowd. But that is Aryan Khan returning home like a hero, though he was in jail. But this doesn't look like that. This looks like something else. This looks like a hero's welcome, like you were bringing up earlier. Look at those cars, look at those visuals. Every possible media house. It's a day for the paparazzi. So, there was no way Shah Rukh Khan, Aryan Khan would cross this without getting mobbed. For the morning we were wondering where the crowd is. And just when the cars reached here, they came here. Clearly, Rishika, they knew the timing much better than all the media did.
Absolutely, Rohit. The fans, the paparazzi, they've had a field day, so to speak. And, because of all the crowds, the convoy is also actually stalling. We can actually see that convoy crawling outside
even
Mannat.
Now they can't, even now they can't enter their own gate, because if they open the gate, a lot of this crowd may go inside. So it's extremely tough. This was expected, if you ask me. The crowd was okay. Also on the other side, I'll show you firecrackers going on the main gate of Mannat, Rishika. These are firecrackers by the fan clubs arranged on the other side, on the main gate of Mannat. Completely like it's an atmosphere of celebration to welcome Aryan Khan, who has spent time in jail, no less. You can see the firecrackers, and also you saw the drums. Now you see the crowd coming back. Clearly, Aryan Khan has gone home. Now is the time which something that he and his family have been longing for. They've been waiting for this, to spend time with each other.
All right, Rohit Thilani there reporting from outside Mannat after, a frenzied half an hour where Aryan Khan walked out of the Arthur Road jail at 11 o'clock. There was a convoy of cars that was actually being followed by a contingent of the media. We got you those live pictures from ANI. And there was a traffic jam outside Mannat because there was drums, there were celebrations, firecrackers, all of this to welcome Aryan Khan home. And if you look at these pictures, who would believe that, here's Aryan Khan, who's actually an accused in a drugs on cruise case, and he has spent 28 days in jail because what he's got is nothing short or nothing less than a hero's welcome. But that's, I think, stardom right there. Rohit, you've been reporting on the kind of fan frenzy, media frenzy as well outside Mannat for the last couple of days, and there's almost been like this, this celebration with even lights going up yesterday after Aryan Khan was given bail by the Bombay High Court. All right, so we're going to try and reconnect with Rohit Thilani reporting from outside Mannat. What we can tell you is that Aryan Khan is back home. Those are the pictures of the gate closing after that convoy made its way back to Mannat.
At a time when our world changed in an unimaginable way, at a time when billions faced an unprecedented global calamity, when hope seemed to disappear and new challenges emerged, we were there to bring you the story of survival, of despair, and sometimes of hope. Left, right, and center, this is no ordinary talk shop. We debate the issues that matter to you. Monday to Thursday, 9 p.m. on NDTV 24/7.
From bartering to cash and coins to digital transactions, money is evolving. The way we make money is evolving. And now it's time to go crypto crazy. But can you shop online using crypto? Can you invest in crypto? Is it even legal? Well, we are here to bring you all the answers and decrypt the world of cryptocurrency for you. Come be part of this next-gen revolution. Join me, Sonal Mehrotra Kapoor, for some coffee and crypto.
NDTV wins the trust vote once again.
This is now the reality check. NDTV 24/7 has been awarded the most trusted news brand of India.
Still many say independent, unbiased journalism of integrity.
Thank you for your endorsement of serious journalism.
Good evening. It's 8 o'clock. You're watching NDTV for the news that matters, the news you trust. You said in this report that this crisis, like no other, will have a recovery like no other.
This is a crisis, it's a global crisis that's not going to be solved locally.
When we talk of a digital health mission in a country like India, where there are so many different standards of access, how do you actually look at that?
Digital divide does not mean having a device in everybody's hands. So you have to design it for universality, even when you're using a digital backbone.
Priya, for you, when you had stood in the dock, as it were, when you gave your defense, and you said, my only defense is the truth.
Absolutely. And I feel that sexual harassment at the workplace has got the attention it deserves.
NDTV, the news that matters, the news you need, at 8 o'clock.
Only on NDTV 24/7.
सच दिखाते हैं ताकि दुनिया के बाजार में आजादी सस्ती न बिक जाए। कुर्सी पे बैठने वालों को जमीन की अहमियत याद रहे। सच दिखाते हैं हम ताकि पैसे की चमक से कभी हुनर ना पड़े फीका, खुदगर्जी खोखला न बना दे सोचने का तरीका।
Welcome back. The live coverage of Aryan Khan being released and making his way back home continues. He's entered Mannat safe and sound despite all the media frenzy and fan frenzy outside Mannat. The sound of drums drowned Rohit Khilnani's audio earlier, but we have him back with us on the broadcast. Rohit, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, and extremely relieved that Aryan Khan has gone inside, because these were chaotic scenes for anyone. You know, to imagine this road completely blocked with fans, drums, procession. They stopped the car. As many arrangements as Shah Rukh Khan could make to not get photographed, that did not happen. Even though he had 4 cars, they knew exactly which car Aryan and Shah Rukh are in. They let the 2 cars go. The photographers mobbed the other cars, and they led the car to the gate slowly. We just can hope that someone got a picture after all the tamasha that we saw here. Absolutely chaotic. Absolutely, you know, also a huge day, a huge celebration for fans who've been coming here every day. You know, we've been talking to so many of them. We can now show you, if I just move away from the camera, this is the lane that was completely full of fans, media, paparazzi, photographers. Now things look slightly in control. It's a mix of bloggers, vloggers, journalists, fans, and of course the cops trying their best to move people away. This is where Aryan Khan entered from just a short while ago. It's been a long wait for the family to get to even this day of the bail. And this is just the bail. After this, the case obviously goes on. A lot of restrictions on Aryan Khan to travel with court's permission, to travel outside Mumbai with some permissions as well. And the traffic jam continues outside Mannat. Okay, the traffic jam continues outside Mannat. The cops are clearing everyone, Rishika.
Okay.
So this is the end of the story in this case, at least, Rishika.
Well, the end of the story for now, at least, Rohit. We'll keep coming back to you for more updates. So thanks for joining us. Short break here. More news on the other side.
We live in a time when post-truth has replaced truth, when alternate facts have replaced facts, when fake news has replaced real news. On Reality Check, we debunk propaganda, we separate fact from fiction, we expose falsehoods, we hold power to account. Watch Reality Check weekdays at 8:30 p.m. with me, Srinivasan Jain, on NDTV 24/7.
What property should I buy? How much should I sell for and when? What are the best locations for property investments? Get your answers from experts with long years of experience in the realty markets. on the most credible and practical property guide.
India Sotheby's International Realty presents The Property Show with Manisha Natarajan. Saturday at 7:30 p.m. and Sunday at 6:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
Legacy is often seen as a burden of expectations. It comes with its own set of challenges. The challenge to take it forward, challenge to reimagine, challenge to be in the present, and also challenge to think about the future.
What accountability are you talking about?
As long as the core values and principles remain uncompromised. Debates are essential not just for journalism but for humanity. It ignites our mind, opens it up for counter-opinion. To hear all views, opinion of all hues. Which is why the oldest running debate show on Indian news television is not 22 years old, but it is young at 22.
इस इनिशिएटिव को मैं अभिनंदन करता हूं कि सच को सच के रूप में पेश करने का उन्होंने साहस दिखाया.
So let us begin the big fight.
They say the zero is nothing unless it connects the dots and the real story emerges. Unless it captures the truth. They say the camera never lies. Unless it is the essence of India, of diversity and tolerance. Unless it reveals the wealth of nations and silences the barrel of a gun. Unless it reflects the sadness in the eye of the tiger as forests disappear. In fact, the dot is the center of your universe and of ours. The dot is the essence of NDTV, the essence of just one word: trust.
One thing that's clear, our world is changing.
All right, so now we have more pictures that are coming in from Mannat. Those are pictures of, the same bodyguard, Shah Rukh Khan's bodyguard, who was seen outside the jail premises. You can actually see pictures from inside Mannat. So the fan frenzy continues. Paparazzi, of course, continuing to send pictures, any vantage point, any shot that they can access at the moment. But while, of course, Aryan Khan's been released on bail, the legal battle continues, and Karuna Nandi is with us on the phone line. Thanks very much for speaking with us. I just want to ask you very briefly, how does this play out legally, given the fact that the evidence against Aryan Khan is something that we've questioned from day one. He wasn't found in possession of drugs, wasn't caught in the act of consumption on the basis of WhatsApp chats. How is this case likely to play out, Karuna Nandi?
So the investigation is still on, and the NCB will try to find what it can. It's only at the charge sheet stage that one can tell how the trial will play out, what the investigation actually revealed. The egregiousness of keeping him in custody, I think, was a different thing, which is that if you accuse someone of such a serious offense, and if you detain them and say that you have to keep them in either police or judicial custody, there has to be a really, really strong reason for it. And not just the evidence, but also your likelihood of disclosing evidence in police custody while you're being interrogated, your likelihood of damaging and compromising the investigation if you were out, etc. None of that was there in his case. The difficulty, of course, Shikha, is that in our country, because our criminal courts are so overburdened, the process is very much the punishment. And so, regardless of what happens with the investigation, the case will go on for a while.
Right. It's also interesting to see, and we've written that over and over, that he spent 28 days in jail. Do you reckon that he could have been released earlier, should have been released earlier?
Well, I certainly believe he shouldn't have been detained on day one, because there was no, each day, as the Supreme Court has said, each day of detention is significant, and you can't take that for granted. And that's true in Arnab's case, and that's certainly true in Aryan Khan's case, and is very much true also in Sudha Bharadwaj and Umar Khalid, and the case of many other people. The 70% of people who have been detained without bail. Now, in many of these cases, it's because they can't afford the surety, or because they can't make the arrangements that are required even after they've been given bail. You see?
Well, absolutely. And, access to the legal system, navigating the legal system as well. This is Shah Rukh Khan's son we're talking about. There was a battery of lawyers, an entire team that was working on this case, and yet he spent 28 days in prison and has finally made his way home. Thanks very much, Karna Nandi. Several questions that this case raises, and we'll track those aspects of the story as well. Short break here. More news on the other side. Stay with us.
सच दिखाते हैं हम, ताकि दुनिया के बाजार में आजादी सस्ती न बिक जाए। कुर्सी पे बैठने वालों को जमीन की अहमियत याद रहे। सच दिखाते हैं हम, ताकि पैसे की चमक से कभी हुनर ना पड़े फीका। खुदगर्जी खोखला न बना दे सोचने का तरीका। सच दिखाते हैं हम, ताकि अच्छे विचार और आदर्श बस किताबी बातें ना रह जाएं।
चुनौतियां काफी ज्यादा हैं, बड़ी चुनौतियां हैं।
एक बेहतर कल चाहते हैं हम, इसलिए सच दिखाते हैं हम। NDTV इंडिया, जुबान पे सच, दिल में इंडिया।
FII, a show on which we don't just ask the questions, we decode the news for you and bring you the answers. What are these steroids? Do's and don'ts you must know. Why do reinfections really happen? Demystify for you this entire phenomena of antibodies. We take you through what is technically known as proning. Jobs in demand in 2021. Top 10 trends. Decoding the Bitcoin.
You don't have to buy an entire Bitcoin. You could buy Bitcoin worth just 500 rupees.
Watch for your information with me, Sonal Mehrotra Kapoor, weekdays at 6:30 on NDTV.
A validation of what's been very tough months of journalism during a pandemic.
Third wave is inevitable, and it's basically based on human behavior.
The interval between doses for the mRNA should be 3 weeks for the Pfizer and 4 weeks for the Moderna.
Some unknown person donated blood and saved my family member's life.
There's really no words to express the grief, solidarity.
Reuters Institute of Journalism survey at the University of Oxford, NDTV was the #1 choice for television and online audiences. Thank you all so very much.
At a time when our world changed in an unimaginable way, at a time when billions faced an unprecedented global calamity, when hope seemed to disappear and new challenges emerged, we were there to bring you the story of survival, of despair, and sometimes of hope. Left, right, and center, this is no ordinary talk shop. We debate the issues that matter to you. Monday to Thursday, 9 p.m. on NDTV 24/7.
From bartering to cash and coins to digital transactions, money is evolving. The way we make money is evolving. And now it's time to go crypto crazy. But can you shop online using crypto? Can you invest in crypto? Is it even legal? Well, we are here to bring you all the answers and decrypt the world of cryptocurrency for you. Come be part of this next-gen revolution? Join me, Sonal Mehrotra Kapoor, for some coffee and crypto.
NDTV wins the trust vote once again.
This is now the reality check. NDTV 24/7 has been awarded the most trusted news brand of India.
Still many say independent, unbiased journalism of integrity.
Thank you for your endorsement of serious journalism.
Welcome back. Pictures from moments ago when Aryan Khan was released from the Arthur Road jail at 11 a.m. This, remember, after the papers were picked up from the bail box outside Arthur Road jail at 5:30 this morning. So 4.5 hours later, Aryan Khan walked out of jail. He was ushered into a vehicle standing by outside the Arthur Road jail by a team of private bodyguards, I beg your pardon, and of course heightened security. And those are pictures on the other side of your screen of Aryan Khan reaching Mannat. He was welcomed and greeted by fan frenzy, media frenzy. There were firecrackers, celebrations, and of course drums that were all there to welcome him and greet him as he made his way back into Mannat. So after 28 days of being in prison, Aryan Khan, who is one of the accused in the drugs on cruise case, has been released on bail and he's made his way back to Mannat.
Good evening. It's 8 o'clock. You're watching NDTV for the news that matters, the news you trust. You said in this report that this crisis, like no other, will have a recovery like no other.
This is a crisis, it's a global crisis that's not going to be solved locally.
When we talk of a digital health mission in a country like India, where there are so many different standards of access, how do you actually look at that?
Digital divide does not mean having a device in everybody's hands. So you have to design it for universality, even when you're using a digital backbone.
Priya, for you, when you had stood in the dock, as it were, when you gave your defense, and you said, my only defense is the truth.
Absolutely. And I feel that sexual harassment at the workplace has got the attention it deserves.
NDTV, the news that matters, the news you need, at 8 o'clock.
Only on NDTV 24/7.
सच दिखाते हैं ताकि दुनिया के बाजार में आजादी सस्ती न बिक जाए। कुर्सी पे बैठने वालों को जमीन की अहमियत याद रहे। सच दिखाते हैं हम ताकि पैसे की चमक से कभी हुनर ना पड़े फीका, खुदगर्जी खोखला न बना दे सोचने का तरीका। सच दिखाते हैं हम ताकि अच्छे विचार और आदर्श बस किताबी बातें ना रह जाएं।
के अंदर एक नया जोश और उत्साह पैदा हुआ है।
एक बेहतर कल चाहते हैं हम, इसलिए सच दिखाते हैं हम। NDTV इंडिया, जुबान पे सच, दिल में इंडिया।
We live in a time when post-truth has replaced truth, when alternate facts have replaced facts, when fake news has replaced real news. On Reality Check, we debunk propaganda, we separate fact from fiction, we expose falsehoods, we hold power to account. Watch Reality Check weekdays at 8:30 p.m. with me, Srinivasan Jain, on NDTV 24/7.
What property should I buy? How much should I sell for and when? What are the best locations for property investments? Get your answers from experts with long years of experience in the realty markets on the most credible and practical property guide.
India Sotheby's International Realty presents The Property Show with Manisha Natarajan. Saturday at 7:30 p.m. and Sunday at 6:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
Legacy is often seen as a burden of expectations. It comes with its own set of challenges. The challenge to take it forward, challenge to reimagine, challenge to be in the present, and also challenge to think about the future.
What accountability are you talking about?
As long as the core values and principles remain uncompromised. Debates are essential not just for journalism but for humanity. It ignites our mind, opens it up for counter-opinion. To hear all views, opinion of all hues. Which is why the oldest running debate show on Indian news television is not 22 years old, but it is young at 22.
इस इनिशिएटिव को मैं अभिनंदन करता हूं कि सच को सच के रूप में पेश करने का उन्होंने साहस दिखाया.
So let us begin the big fight.
They say the zero is nothing unless it connects the dots and the real story emerges. Unless it captures the truth. They say the camera never lies. Unless it is the essence of India, of diversity and tolerance. Unless it reveals the wealth of nations and silences the barrel of a gun. Unless it reflects the sadness in the eye of the tiger as forests disappear. In fact, the dot is the center of your universe and of ours. The dot is the essence of NDTV. The essence of just one word: trust.
One thing that's clear, our world is changing.
Welcome back. Breaking news that's coming in. Prime Minister Modi, who's on a 2-day visit to Italy, is visiting the Pope. Those are pictures that we're getting from the Vatican at the moment, where Prime Minister Modi has arrived. He is visiting Pope Francis. All right, so live pictures that we're getting to you from the Vatican. Prime Minister Modi is going to be meeting Pope Francis inside a private library in the Vatican. This is the second day of the Prime Minister's official visit to the Italian capital of Rome. The Prime Minister arrived in Italy on Friday, and he's meeting with the Pope on the sidelines of the 2-day G20 summit that the Prime Minister is attending on the invitation of Mario Draghi, his Italian counterpart. Now, the Vatican, of course, is a city-state that's surrounded by Rome. Its headquarters, it is the headquarters of the Roman Catholic Church. Prime Minister Modi there is going to be meeting with Pope Francis at a private library inside the Vatican. Important also to note that this is a visit that's coming in on the sidelines of the G20 summit, this year's G20 summit, the 8th in line. Is being attended by Prime Minister Modi. It's being hosted physically in Rome, and the Prime Minister, of course, is in about an hour from now going to be present at that photo opportunity on the sidelines of the G20. He'll be photographed with all the G20 leaders, following which he will attend some sessions of the G20, and then there are some important bilaterals that have been lined up, including bilaterals with the French President Emmanuel Macron. So these, of course, are the pictures that we're getting to you from Vatican. Prime Minister Modi meeting with Pope Francis on the sidelines of the G20 summit. The Prime Minister is on a 2-day visit to Italy. This is, of course, for the G20 summit. The Prime Minister arrived in Italy on Friday. He's meeting with the Pope on the sidelines of the 2-day G20 summit in Rome. Prime Minister is attending the summit on the invitation of his Italian counterpart. G20, of course, extremely important as well. It is being hosted physically in Rome. Last year's summit, remember, was hosted virtually due to the COVID-19 situation. The theme of this G20 meet under the Italian presidency is centered around people, planet and prosperity. The Prime Minister is going to be attending a session at the G20, after which he's also going to be holding an important bilateral with the French President Emmanuel Macron. So pictures coming in from Vatican City just moments ago as Prime Minister Modi arrived. He was greeted by people standing by outside, after which he's made his way inside the Vatican, where he will be meeting Pope Francis at the Pope's private library. And well, my colleagues Rohit Khilani and Saurabh Gupta join me on the big story that we're tracking since early this morning. Aryan Khan walking out of jail after 28 days. This is, of course, a major relief for Aryan Khan and his family, but the legal battle for Aryan Khan hasn't ended. He's walked out of jail, but under some under terms and conditions of the bail, which includes that he can't leave Mumbai without informing his probe officer. His passport has been surrendered. He cannot meet with the co-accused or communicate with them. He can't be, speaking with the media or putting up anything on social media for that matter. But let me just get in perspectives from both our reporters who've been tracking this story very closely. Rohit Khilani standing by outside Mannat. Rohit, massive fan frenzy, media frenzy that you've been reporting on, for the last 4 or 5 hours. So many people have gathered outside Mannat to just get that one glimpse of Aryan Khan entering the gates of Mannat. Now that he has actually gone back inside and he's reached home, what's the mood outside?
Absolutely, Rishika. It's finally nice to be able to hear your voice. I couldn't hear anything earlier when there was this huge procession going. Now I'll show you now the scenes. Now things are much more in control. But of course, the media has moved to the front gate. The thing is, I'll tell you the reason why they're at the front gate. They're here because this is the spot where Shah Rukh Khan usually comes when he wants to wave and just say something to the crowd and make an appearance. So some of them are obviously hoping that Shah Rukh Khan may come and thank or greet the media, talk to it, like say something or just make an appearance for all his supporters. There have been many supporters as well. Let me show you that the place where Shah Rukh Khan stands on top of his gate. This, what you're watching right now on your screens, is the spot where Shah Rukh, if he wants to make an appearance, this is where he comes. He has the steps to go up there, and that's where he waves. It's a famous place which all fans and media know, but I don't think there's any such plan, because this is not something that they would like to publicize or talk. They've kept silence. They've kept complete silence about it. So the media are obviously not completely refusing to leave this place. Everybody hoping, and also some jibs all pointing towards the house. Some even inside the house. Not sure how much of that is allowed, but clearly media and this, what you're watching right now on your screens, is the lane from where we entered. All these cars of Shah Rukh Khan leaving one by one, and these are the cars that took Aryan Khan and the convoy inside Mannat. After 4 weeks at Arthur Road Jail, it's been quite a tough time for the family, but somehow they managed to get this bail, which was also quite, after the bail also, it was not easy for him to come out. The jailer was very clear that, they have to follow procedure. Nobody gets VIP treatment here. And it didn't happen yesterday. And today we saw Aryan Khan leave. And Saurabh, my colleague, got us those pictures. In fact, that's the only place where we saw a bit of Aryan Khan's visual. Some of that, none of that happened here. Here we saw everything else apart from Aryan Khan.
Right, and of course all those cameras positioned to get one glimpse, but all you could really see was that convoy and of course, you know, the cameras, phone cameras and video cameras and jeep cameras all positioned outside Mannat. Saurabh, if I can come back to you at the moment, the case continues. It's temporary relief for Aryan Khan. You know, whether or not there is actually solid ground, solid evidence to see this forward. You know, Karuna Nandi spoke with us a short while ago and she said we'll really know what the NCB has once the charge sheet is out. So, you know, legally, tell our viewers what happens next.
Well, exactly at around 11 o'clock in the morning, Aryan Khan, son of superstar Shah Rukh Khan, walked out of Arthur Road jail in Mumbai after having spent 22 days in prison. He was released on bail, and even bail was not easy. It took a battery of lawyers, including the former Attorney General of India, Mukul Rohatgi, to argue his case, following which the Bombay High Court granted him bail with very strict conditions. But does this mean the end of the legal battle? No. The legal battle continues, and in a case where the NCB hasn't been able to make any recovery from him, or has even not made the charge of consumption, but says he's a regular consumer who was in touch with peddlers based on WhatsApp chats, is something that will unravel in the future, because this is of course a case which has to be investigated further, as the NCB says. Now, beyond that, what many are questioning is, where is the evidence to hold Aryan Khan, a 23-year-old, in jail for 22 days and deny him bail all these days? That's the question many legal experts have raised, many saying that he is paying the price for being Shah Rukh Khan's son. His father, superstar Shah Rukh Khan, of course, got the best lawyers available, Amit Desai, Satish Mane Shinde, and of course the former Attorney General Mukul Rohatgi to argue his case. And even after that, even after the Bombay High Court granted him bail, the process hasn't been easy. It's a cumbersome process that involves getting an insolvency certificate, that involves getting sureties. And in fact, in Aryan Khan's case, it was Juhi Chawla who stepped in as surety. She was seen at the Sessions Court, or the Special Court, that's the trial court for this case, to fill in and stand in as surety for Aryan Khan. And then of course this morning he was released at around 11, and this is not the end of the road as far as the legal battle is concerned, because he will have to fight this. There are strong conditions. He cannot go outside the country without the permission of the NCB. He cannot leave Mumbai without the permission of the investigative officer. So all of this is still a very, very long battle and a legal battle ahead, even though the evidence in this case is questionable.
All right. Saurabh Gupta and Rohit Khilani, thank you both very much for joining us with all the very latest. Vikas Singh, Senior Advocate of the Supreme Court, is with us on the broadcast as well. Mr. Singh, you heard my colleague Saurabh there talking about the evidence, the nature of evidence that was there to keep Aryan Khan behind bars for 28 days. And how do you see this playing out?
So I have been saying from the beginning that this was actually badly handled. This whole case was very badly handled, because this was not they should have got even 1 day's custody. So this whole based on possession and pledge to be consumer, invariably he will in touch with some dealer or the other, who may be further in touch with some big dealer or the other, and who may be further in touch with some big brain behind the whole smuggling racket. But that doesn't make a consumer a dealer. I mean, that's the whole point, and which was missed out completely by the trial court and the High Court. Also, in imposing these conditions, according to me, has done it a little mechanically. Because why should all these conditions apply for a person against whom there is literally speaking no charge? I mean, you tell me, if a person is not found in possession, and if a person is not even alleged to have consumed, there is no question of taking him into custody. So this is a real miscarriage of justice that has happened in this case. And if Shah Rukh Khan had gone to the High Court the very next day, I am sure he would have got his son released, staying in the way the case has been mishandled. You see, even after grant of bail, he filled up, and with the result that he stayed in custody for 1 more day. So it's a real botch up by his team. And I don't see any evidence of credible nature, or any evidence rather of any thing which can nail Aryan Khan in this case. And he should in fact file for a discharge and get himself discharged at the earliest, rather than face a long drawn trial and with all these restrictions of travel, etc. So I personally feel that this is a case which should be a case where he should go for discharge immediately.
Mr. Singh, you're also Sushant Singh Rajput's family lawyer in the case, and a lot of parallels have been drawn between these two cases. With an eye on the NCB targeting end users, especially people belonging to Bollywood. What do you make of that?
So NCB is now, I would say, very anxious to get into media, and basically all these cases are being picked up to get into the spotlight, and which is not a good trend, because NCB is a very serious law. It's a very serious offence, and it is meant to be for serious offenders. It is not meant to be for. In fact, it is not meant for consumers at all, and for consumers it is according to the bailable offence, because it is only 1 year sentence. So NCB is not doing its job properly. I would be the happiest person if they had, caught somebody who had been in the cartel or in the state of bringing drugs in this country and been responsible in spoiling our youth. But instead of doing that, they are targeting these small-time consumers. And, I would say that in Delhi, most of these parties, our children tell us that drugs are being consumed by children in today's parties. So if that be the standard of NCB, they should start getting parties in Delhi as well, where, powerful people are there. And why don't they do that? So it's not fair for them to, just pick up Bollywood and give Bollywood a bad name, as if the Bollywood is filled with drug addicts, etc. So that's not the right attitude of NCB. Instead of going for the big fish, they are just diverting the attention of the people.
All right. Vikas Singh, thank you very much for speaking with NDTV. He's, of course, a senior lawyer with the Supreme Court, also somebody who's represented Sushant Singh Rajput's family, making some very serious comments about the conduct of the NCB in this case, and how Aryan Khan actually didn't warrant to be in custody, not even for a day. We'll continue to track the details of this story very closely. Short break here, more news on the other side.